calm is power, a speech in the style of Marcus Aurelius. My friends, consider this. The storm rages, the waves rise, and yet the rock stands unmoved. It does not curse the wind nor plead with the sea, it simply is. So too must we be. Power is not in the frenzy of the tempest but in the stillness that withstands it. The man who is calm possesses himself fully. He is not torn by fear, nor swayed by anger, nor weakened by desire. He sees things as they are, not as passion distorts them. He does not grasp at what is fleeting nor tremble at what may come. In his quiet, there is certainty. In his stillness, there is strength. Consider the fool tossed about by every passion, running after every impulse. He exhausts himself with useless worry, burns his spirit with anger, and scatters his mind with endless desires. He is a slave to everything outside him. But the man who is calm is free. He does not beg fate for kindness, nor curse it for cruelty. He simply moves forward, doing what is right, accepting what is beyond his command. What is more powerful than a man who cannot be shaken? Armies may march, wealth may be lost, reputation may crumble, but if his soul remains firm, he has lost nothing. His strength is not in his hands, nor in the words of others, but in the mastery of himself. Therefore, let us cultivate calm as the highest power, not indifference, nor weakness, but the deep and steady strength of a man who knows himself, who does what must be done, and who trusts that whatever comes, he will endure. For in the end, the greatest victory is not over others, but over the chaos within. True power lies in inner calm, not external force. This is a concept that has been understood by great minds throughout history, from philosophers to military leaders. In a world where chaos and turmoil are ever present, it is easy to believe that strength lies in external actions, in dominating others, in responding with force and aggression. But those who are wise understand that real power is found in the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity, to control one's reactions, and to master the mind. The external world is beyond our complete control, but our responses to it are not. Consider the nature of a storm. While it rages with fury, it cannot alter the rock that stands in its path. The rock does not resist the wind, nor does it bend under pressure. It remains steady, grounded in its purpose. The storm eventually passes, but the rock endures. This is the nature of true power. The rock's strength is not in any external force it exerts but in its stillness, in its unwavering presence. In the same way, a person who is calm in the face of life's storms displays true power. They are not consumed by the turbulence around them. They remain grounded and resolute. In every moment of unrest, when faced with stress, anxiety, or conflict, the calm individual stands apart from the chaos. They recognize that it is not the events themselves that determine their well-being, but their reaction to those events. They do not allow themselves to be swept away by emotions, nor do they engage in unnecessary conflict. Their power lies in their ability to remain centered, to choose their actions with clarity and wisdom, regardless of the external noise. The misconception that power comes from outward displays of strength often leads people to act impulsively, to shout louder, to push harder, to fight back without thought. But such actions rarely bring true resolution. They breed more conflict, more stress, and more emotional turbulence. True power, in contrast, is quiet. It is the power of patience, of restraint, of knowing when to act and when to stand still. It is the power of the mind, where the individual remains unaffected by the passions that commonly sway others. When we are calm, we are not passive or weak. We are exercising the greatest form of control, or the control over ourselves. It is far easier to lash out in anger or retreat in fear, to succumb to anxiety or frustration. But the calm person chooses to rise above these base emotions, acting only when necessary, responding with wisdom and measured thought. Their strength lies not in overpowering others, but in their capacity to withstand the pressures of life without losing their sense of self. In the end, external forces will always come and go as circumstances will change, people will come into and out of our lives, and challenges will arise. But our ability to remain calm, to stand firm in our center, allows us to navigate these changes with grace and resilience. True power is not in the strength to push the world around us but in the strength to stay centered while the world shifts. The calm man possesses himself fully, free from fear, anger, and desire. These are the emotions that often hold us captive, distorting our perceptions and leading us to act in ways that do not serve our true purpose. Fear pulls us back, preventing us from taking necessary actions. Anger blinds us, clouding our judgment and leading to rash decisions. Desire creates restlessness, always yearning for something beyond our grasp, causing dissatisfaction even in moments of fulfillment. The calm individual, however, is untouched by these forces. They are not ruled by fear, anger, or desire, but instead remain steady, grounded in the present moment. In a world where external circumstances often seem to dictate our emotions, the ability to possess oneself fully is a rare and powerful skill. When fear arises, it has the potential to paralyze us, making us hesitate and doubt our own capabilities. Yet, the calm person recognizes fear as a passing cloud, something to observe without becoming entangled in it. They understand that fear is not a reflection of reality but of the mind's own projections. By not allowing fear to control their actions, they become free to pursue what is right, without the debilitating influence of anxiety. Anger, too, is a powerful emotion that can overwhelm a person, often leading to regretful actions. It is easy to lash out when provoked, to allow our emotions to dictate our responses. But the calm individual recognizes anger for what it is, a temporary surge of emotion that distorts our true nature. Instead of responding in kind, they choose restraint, understanding that anger will pass, but the consequences of unchecked rage can last far longer. In the space between provocation and response, the calm person finds their power, choosing not to react impulsively, but to act with wisdom and purpose. Desire, meanwhile, creates a restless longing for something that is not yet attained. It makes us constantly seek what is beyond our reach, leaving us dissatisfied with the present. A person ruled by desire is never content, for their happiness is always dependent on something external. But the calm individual recognizes that true fulfillment lies not in the endless pursuit of more, but in accepting and appreciating what is. They have learned that desire, when left unchecked, can never bring lasting peace. Instead, they cultivate contentment in the present, finding joy not in what they lack, but in what they already have. The calm man is free from these forces because he has learned to master himself. He does not let his emotions dictate his actions, nor does he allow external circumstances to disturb his inner peace. His strength lies not in his ability to control the world around him, but in his ability to control himself. By cultivating this mastery, he remains unshaken, able to respond to life's challenges with clarity and wisdom. He is not swayed by fear, anger, or desire, but remains anchored in his own center, the very embodiment of calm. And in this calm, he finds his true power. Passion and impulse enslave the weak, but stillness grants freedom. This is a fundamental truth that many overlook in their pursuit of external achievements, validation, or fleeting pleasures. In a world that glorifies the pursuit of immediate gratification, it is easy to fall into the trap of reacting impulsively to every desire, every emotional surge, every perceived need. Yet, true power lies not in acting on every impulse, but in the ability to pause, to reflect, and to respond with clarity, wisdom, and purpose. Passion, while often seen as a source of energy, can also be a force that blinds us to the bigger picture. It consumes the mind, creating an overwhelming desire to act, to acquire, or to assert ourselves in ways that may not be aligned with our true values. Passion pushes us forward without thought, often leading to actions that are driven by momentary feelings rather than rational deliberation. This can result in rash decisions, impulsive behavior, and the creation of problems that would not have existed had we paused for a moment of stillness. Impulse is the immediate reaction to an emotion, a thought, or a desire. It is the mind's tendency to act without forethought, to react to external stimuli without considering the consequences. While it may offer short-term satisfaction, impulse rarely leads to lasting peace or fulfillment. Impulsivity, when unchecked, leads to a cycle of constant striving, where one act leads to another, and one desire fuels the next. This constant movement leaves no room for reflection, no space for growth. It locks the individual in a perpetual state of unrest, always chasing the next fix, the next moment of satisfaction. The calm person, however, is not enslaved by these forces. They have learned the art of stillness, the ability to step back from the chaos of the world and examine their thoughts and feelings with clarity. In this stillness, they find freedom. They are not bound by the immediate desires of the moment or the pressures of the external world. They can observe their emotions, acknowledge them, and then choose a course of action that is in line with their true values and long-term goals. This ability to pause, to reflect, and to choose consciously is the foundation of personal power. When we are still, we are not passive or indifferent. We are fully aware of the present moment, aware of our inner state, and aware of the forces around us. Stillness does not mean inaction, it means deliberate action, chosen with wisdom and foresight. It allows us to avoid the trap of reacting impulsively to every external stimulus. Instead, we respond with purpose, choosing actions that align with our long-term vision rather than fleeting emotions. Stillness allows us to see clearly, to discern what is truly important, and to act with precision rather than being swept along by the tides of emotion. In this way, stillness grants us freedom, a freedom from the tyranny of our desires, freedom from the impulsive reactions that keep us in a constant state of turmoil. It is in stillness that we find our power, the power to direct our energy toward what truly matters, free from the distractions of momentary passions. External losses mean nothing if the soul remains unshaken. In life, we are bound to face challenges that seem insurmountable. We may lose possessions, relationships, or even our reputation. These losses can appear devastating, often shaking us to our core and testing our strength. However, the true measure of a person is not how they respond to the external circumstances, but how their inner self withstands the blows of fate. The calm individual knows that while external events can cause temporary pain or hardship, their power lies in their ability to remain anchored within themselves, no matter what occurs around them. The external world is unpredictable, constantly shifting in ways that are beyond our control. We may invest our time, energy, and heart into something, only to see it crumble or slip away. A business venture may fail, a relationship may end, or our health may falter. In these moments, it's natural to feel the weight of loss, to grieve for what has been taken from us. Yet, what defines us is not the loss itself but how we respond to it. The calm person recognizes that external circumstances are temporary, subject to change, and that nothing in the material world is truly permanent. They understand that even when the world crumbles, their core self remains intact. True strength is not in clinging to what we have, but in the ability to let go without losing ourselves. The calm person is free from attachment to the fleeting and transient things of life. They are not shaken by the winds of change because they have learned that true security does not lie in possessions or external circumstances, but in the constancy of the soul. They know that even in the face of loss, their peace remains undisturbed, for their sense of self is not dependent on what the world offers or denies. The calm individual understands that external losses are not a reflection of personal worth or value. A man's worth is not determined by his wealth, his status, or his accomplishments. These things may be taken away, but they do not diminish the essence of who he is. The essence, the true self, is found within. When we are calm, we are able to separate ourselves from the material world and its fluctuations. We understand that the external can change, but the inner core remains untouched. It is this inner stillness that allows us to navigate life's losses with grace, to accept what is gone without allowing it to define or break us. In moments of loss, it is easy to feel defeated, to think that we have been wronged or that the world is cruel. But the calm person does not see a loss as a defeat. They see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to reaffirm their strength. They know that the soul, when unshaken, has the capacity to adapt, to rebuild, and to find new purpose even in the face of hardship. The calm soul is resilient, unyielding in its commitment to peace and clarity, no matter what the external world may bring. Calm is not weakness but the mastery of self and fate. In a world where success is often measured by outward displays of power through dominance, aggression, or outward force, it is easy to mistake calmness for a lack of strength. Many view a calm individual as passive, indifferent, or even weak, unaware that true power does not always manifest in loud or forceful ways. The calm person understands that real strength lies in the ability to control oneself, to choose one's responses to external circumstances, and to remain steady in the face of adversity. This mastery of self is not a sign of weakness, but rather of profound inner strength. When faced with challenges or setbacks, it is common for people to react emotionally, allowing their fears, anger, or desires to drive their actions. In such moments, they are often controlled by external forces, and their responses are shaped by the turmoil inside them. Their minds become clouded with emotion, and they may make decisions based on impulse rather than clarity. The calm individual, on the other hand, remains centered. They do not allow external events to dictate their internal state. They maintain their composure and do not succumb to the chaos of the moment. This is not a sign of weakness, but of self-mastery and inner strength that is far more powerful than any external display of force. Mastery of self involves understanding one's emotions, thoughts, and impulses, and recognizing that they do not need to control us. It is the ability to observe one's reactions and choose to act with wisdom rather than out of instinct. This kind of control takes discipline and awareness. It is easy to act on impulse, to lash out in anger, or to fall prey to fear or anxiety, but it requires true strength to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. The calm person is aware of their emotions, but they do not let them control their actions. Instead, they act deliberately, with clarity and purpose, guided by principles rather than momentary feelings. This mastery extends beyond the self to the external world as well. While we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. Life is unpredictable, and misfortune can strike at any moment. The calm person understands this and accepts it. They do not waste energy resisting what is beyond their control. Instead, they focus on what they can influence in their thoughts, their responses, and their actions. This is the mastery of fate. The calm person does not bend or break under pressure. They adjust, adapt, and navigate life's challenges with grace, knowing that while they cannot control every circumstance, they can control how they face it. Calmness in the face of adversity is a sign of great strength. It allows the individual to think clearly, to assess the situation without the distortion of emotion, and to make decisions that are in their best interest. It enables them to remain steadfast in their values, even when the world around them is in turmoil. This power of calm is not a passive resignation to fate but an active engagement with life from a place of inner peace and clarity. It is the ability to face life with unwavering composure, regardless of what is thrown one's way. The greatest victory is over the chaos within. Life constantly presents challenges and external turmoil, but the true test of power lies not in how we face the world around us, but in how we manage the internal struggles that reside within our own minds and hearts. The world is full of distractions, emotions, and pressures that can pull us in many directions. However, it is only when we learn to master the chaos within ourselves that we truly gain control over our lives. The individual who has conquered their inner turbulence is truly free, for they are not swayed by the shifting forces of fear, anger, doubt, or desire. Their power stems from their ability to remain calm and composed, regardless of what happens outside them. The chaos within us often arises from our emotional reactions, our fears, and our attachments. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of judgment can create an inner storm that clouds our ability to think clearly and act wisely. Anger and frustration can boil over, clouding our judgment and driving us to react impulsively rather than with thoughtfulness. Desire, too, can create a restless longing that distracts us from the present moment and fills us with dissatisfaction. In moments like these, our inner peace is disrupted, and we lose our power. We become slaves to our emotions, unable to think or act with clarity. But the person who has mastered their inner chaos is not at the mercy of these emotions. They understand that emotions are temporary, and they do not let their temporary feelings dictate their actions. To conquer the chaos within is to achieve a state of balance and clarity. It is not about suppressing or ignoring emotions but about understanding and integrating them in a way that does not overwhelm us. The calm person is fully aware of their emotions, but they do not let them rule their decisions. They are not controlled by fear, nor do they react impulsively to anger or desire. Instead, they acknowledge these emotions, sit with them, and then choose how to respond in a way that aligns with their true values. This is where true power lies. By cultivating inner peace, the calm individual creates space between stimulus and response, allowing for thoughtful action rather than emotional reaction. Victory over the chaos within allows us to navigate life's challenges with a steady hand. When we are calm, we can see clearly, think critically, and act with purpose. External events may still cause difficulty, but we do not allow them to disturb our inner peace. No matter what happens around us, we remain grounded in the knowledge that we control our internal state. This mastery of self is the greatest form of power, for it allows us to remain focused and purposeful, unaffected by the noise and distractions of the world. Ultimately, the greatest victory is not in conquering others or achieving external success, but in mastering oneself. The person who has found inner peace, who has conquered the chaos within, has unlocked the true source of power. They are not swayed by fleeting emotions or external forces but are able to navigate life with unwavering clarity, strength, and purpose.